part 3 of the interview with Ashely Steinweg of Parkview Mission on Food for Thought.
We always think about the kids who live in Bedford County, right? They're literally where I live on the other side of the road. I can see an elementary school in Bedford County from, the end of my driveway. And why don't we feed them, or why can't we feed them? The hard part is right now, Food for Thought is our most expensive program. Dare I say, our most important program. For me as a teacher, that's kind of my belief. And just feeding families, and yes, kids are very much a part of families. That's kind of how we, encompass families, as if you have kids. But anyway, in my mind, as a special ed teacher, I kind of was sold on this program because I know the importance of feeding kids. So in my mind, that's kind of the most important thing. However, if we expand our, $400,000 program where we're feeding 1,200 kids each week, including throughout the summer, that price increases. And that makes my job as a director of development that much harder. Cutting costs. People know me here as I am very cheap. I will cut corners everywhere, every place we can. I will use different things because all of our funding needs to go into feeding kids. And that's kind of how it works here. Our goal is to, steward our funds the best way that we can in order to make the biggest impact in kids' lives. So, Teal Bag Initiative is something that I saw being utilized in a different community in Northern Virginia, and we just kind of adopted it to what would benefit us and help us save money. And so our 5K that's coming up, when people come and get their their packet pickup, their things will be in a teal bag. And the goal is the following week after our 5K, people will bring back teal bags full of food that we'll then sort and provide in weekend bags or food pantries for the weekends. So, that's one way that we can reduce the cost and also show our community, one, that there is a need of food insecurity here, but two, that they can make a difference, a tangible difference with an everyday thing. Like, let me just grab this bag and fill it as I'm shopping. Or I always kind of refer to our teal bags like the Christmas boxes. During the Christmas season, everyone is ready and willing and generous, ready to give. And I always give a box to each one of my kids, and they get to choose things that they would like as a child in a developing country. The cool thing is that we can make an impact right here at home for real, tangible needs every weekend. So that's one of the things that we've done to help reduce that cost. And if there are other communities or, school divisions who contact us, yes, I would love to continue to grow, but we need backing. I need support. Peakland, John Buckley. Yeah. I will never forget, John Buckley came to Food for Thought, and I was, at the time, once we were kind of set in the warehouse, I was the only one who was there on a daily basis. Yes, I went and I would teach at Peakland, and I would help get kids in their cars. And as soon as I put the last little guy in the car, buckled them up, I grabbed my bag and I headed over to the plaza. And I spent my afternoons at Food for Thought, answering questions, figuring out what are the logistics of this program and how are we going to continue to make it work. So in doing that, like, I don't know, it's always just been something that all of the little pieces have to kind of come together. So knowing how to do it is one thing, but John Buckley coming in and being like, why are there 66 kids at Bedford Hills that need food? Like, he didn't actually believe it. And seeing the map, I don't know if you've seen that map, how our city has been zoned. It is crazy to see who comes to what schools and why. So the zoning is really the real reason, why it's just like a funnel, all the way from Fifth Street Bridge, all the way over to Coffee Road. That whole, only half of Rivermont goes to Bedford Hills and the other half goes to Palm Monroe. So anyway, because of zoning, after showing John Buckley, he's like, I get it. Like, seeing the map and understanding how there are 66 kids who needed food at Bedford Hills, John Buckley was like, I get it. How can I help? And really, I feel like he was a strong leader in your church of how to be a good support system, how to, choose people who are willing, like yourself, to come on rotation and pick up bags and deliver them to schools. If we didn't have churches like you guys, like all of those schools, those kids wouldn't have food, or it would be a lot harder to get there. So I think you still deliver to Bedford Hills and Palm Monroe.
We do.
Yep. So, and the reason why John was like, oh, this makes sense. It's your community schools. Your church is right in the middle of those two schools. So I love that, how you've kind of adopted those two schools. And really that was a vision before, because we are just providing food. We can't do all of the other things that churches can do. So Peakland has been a great example of how to really adopt a school and follow through in what you say you're going to do. So, yep, that's why we haven't expanded, because we don't have churches like you guys to adopt schools. If we did, and honestly, I'm not saying that churches aren't willing. It's at this point, raising $400,000 for one of our programs takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And we still have, 5 other programs